Our first step in starting our oil pastel landscapes is to take a pencil and map out the areas of detail and interest on the image. So things like the horizon line. In this image, I may do where the sky shifts in color, just so I'm aware that there's more pinks at the top and yellows towards the bottom, where those little mountain ridges are. If you have one that has a cactus, or just major areas of your art to draw lightly. You might have a lot to map out, you might not have that much to map out. With oil pastels, we want to start with the lightest colors first, just as if we were painting. It's so much easier to cover over a light color than it is to try to take a light color over a dark color. Our goal is to capture the essence of the landscape. Swatches of color may not match perfectly, and nor will our little strokes with a pastel match exactly. We want to look at our image, get familiar with the colors, the shapes, and the textures. So I've started with peach, and I noticed that there were some big, long peach lines in the sky, followed by pink, and then some more yellow. I noticed the yellow is way too intense. It's got so much color and saturation with it that it wasn't quite jiving with the original image. This is pretty easy to tone down. Take a white oil pastel, and you can just blend right over. It'll help lighten those colors. It'll smudge the sky a little bit too, which is perfect. Notice in all the images, the sky is always done horizontally. Some of them may have some happy little clouds that have some texture and are more circular, but the overall atmosphere of the sky is horizontal. So we don't want to just color in any which direction. This white pastel is great for blending. You may end up using it in lots of places on your art. But in this particular piece, the sky does have some white blending happening. This particular landscape doesn't have a lot of finger blending. It's mainly with pastel. I chose to just do the sky first and then work down in the lower areas. That may be helpful for you, but as long as you're starting with the lightest colors, moving to the darkest colors, you'll be the most successful. When you're drawing, you want your eyes to be bouncing back and forth between the printed image and your work of art. You're going to constantly be looking back and forth, making sure that you are matching the different landforms and images and details in it. Be sure to have your oil pastel techniques worksheet in front of you. That way you can see what we learned the other day, which techniques will apply to your landscape, how will you use them, and in which areas will you use them. As you're continuing to work, from lightest to darkest, black will always be the last color you want to use. It is so strong and powerful that it quickly overtakes areas. Now, don't use black unless you see it in your landscape. We don't need to do harsh black outlines. We're working a little more realistically here. Draw the colors and shapes that you see, not what you think it should be. Usually what our brains think and what is actually there are different. Make sure you're adding enough oil pastel on your paper, especially if you're blending. We don't want the white paper to be showing through. You need to push kind of hard and or go back and forth over and over. We don't just want to use one solid color. Remember, oil pastel looks best when it is blended with 2 or maybe even 3 colors. Look at those beautiful colors that you see in your image, and this will help you recreate your landscape beautifully.